fight fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of Classic MMA Revival. Today we're going to be taking a look back at a very special one-off event that I assumed was pitched as a series of events, but in reality the promoter was only trying to fleece people. So there were really no plans for future events. This was just a one and done deal. This is Shidokan Jitsu, Warriors War 1. Held in Kuwait of all places and put on with the Sheikh of Kuwait footing the bill. You might ask me, the most dangerous man alive today, what the hell is a Shidokan? No idea. Is it a Jitsu in reality? I don't think so. But using my special powers of reasoning and educated guessing, I'm going to say that Shidokan Jitsu is Kuwait's very own martial arts style. And that's why this event was named Shidokan Jitsu. I just called it Shidokan. This event, Shidokan Jitsu 1, Warriors War 1, it took place in Kuwait on February 8th, 2001. Yes, that Kuwait, previously made famous by Saddam Hussein, who invaded the tiny monarch country back in 1990. The details surrounding this event are quite interesting, and a lot of speculation can be made about the reasons for its existence. The story goes that this event was put on by a rather shady Syrian promoter who pitched the idea to the Sheikh of Kuwait, who wanted to obviously promote Shidokan Jitsu. The Sheikh of Kuwait at the time was Jabir al-Ahmad al-Sabad, who has since passed away. The shadowy Syrian promoter billed the Sheikh in excess of $1.5 million for this event, which, according to Monty Cox, a rather infamous MMA promoter himself who was present at the event as part of Pat Militich's group, he said this fee was about $1.2 million more than what the event actually cost. Shidokan Jitsu was to be a one-night, 8-man middleweight tournament, but the particulars of the weight division almost made this event not happen at all. Prior to the event, a fighters' meeting was held at the hotel where all the fighters were housed. The Syrian promoter stated that they were not going to be doing weigh-ins because everyone was around the same weight. Pat Militich and Dave Manet, one of the participants of the tournament, whom Pat Militich was serving as coach for, objected to this, and they said that they had a digital scale in their hotel room and they wanted to retrieve it. The Russian contingent of fighters objected to them wanting to get the scale, and they blocked the door. Pat Militich stated that they refused to fight in a tournament if there were no weigh-ins, and they were joined by Matt Hughes and Carlos Newton, two other fighters who were to participate in the tournament. Facing the collapse of the tournament, the Russians were forced to step aside. The scale was retrieved, and upon weighing in, all of the Russians were in fact overweight, with one being so overweight that he was forced to pull out. The two other Russians, Karamula Bakaleev and Shamir Meromegab, they had to drop a couple pounds, so they put on some plastic suits and went at it. Anyway, there's more to this story as related by Pat Militich himself in a Sherdog Stories of the Road entry, which I'll link to in the description, and you can go read all about it. But that's enough talk about the sordid story and this tournament. It's time to press play. I'll be pressing play in 3, 2, 1, play. And let's see what happens. Shidokan Jitsu, Warriors War 1. Here we go. Sheikh Naif. Okay. When you think of Kuwait, what do you think about? You think of war. You think of Saddam Hussein. Oh boy. Oh, and look at this. Stephen Quadros.
Kuwait City, Kuwait. Hi, my name is Stephen Quadros, and welcome to
Kuwait City, Kuwait. That's where this is held.
Warriors War 1. 8 men, mixed martial art rules, tournament style.
Oh yeah. $60,000 cash prize.
We also have one of the best grudge matches in the history of the sport.
Really?
From Brazil, Jose Pele Landy.
Ah, there we go. Jose Pele Landy. Not with a Y, with an I. And Matt Hughes looking like a fucking freak there. What was wrong with his face? Dave Manet. He's going to be taking on the Ronin, Carlos Newton.
Working with me at ringside is a man with 30 years martial art experience. He is also a brown belt under grappling master Jean-Jacques Machado.
Ah, I have no idea who this fucking guy is. Richard Norton. Don't know anything about him.
Why is it so grueling on the athletes?
Well, the difficulty for the fighters.
Look at the TVs in the back. I just noticed those. they have 16 old CRT TVs all just sort of cobbled together. They used to do that back in the day. It looks really shitty though with the giant borders.
Maybe taking his opponent out in 2 minutes.
Is he Australian? Oh, I gotta ask Alistair. Do you know this Richard Norton fellow? Because I don't know anything about him.
Because the only way you can compete in that sort of environment, Steve, is to be an elite athlete. So it's going to be quite simple.
I'm thinking the first fight here. Let me. I gotta load this up here. I should have did this before.
Well,
just listen to Quadros and Norton for a minute while I pull this up.
Martial art is cross-training. You know, in the old
it's
days,
definitely an
you
Australian
could be
accent.
Kickboxing, you could maybe be a ground fighter, a wrestler, judo player. Now you have to have it all. If you have a weakness in
you know, it's really interesting. Kuwait, a tiny little reclusive,
it will be exploited.
oil-rich nation. The Sheikh of Kuwait. You never really hear much about Kuwait. The only time you ever heard about Kuwait was when Saddam Hussein invaded. So I'm sure the one, you know, there's, you know, it's like one of these many Middle Eastern nations that are sitting on a, you know, giant well of oil. Money is, they just have infinite money, so who cares if he was overcharged for the fucking tournament? This is how the guy spends his weekends, you know? He spends $1.5 million on a tournament.
Our judges are well respected in the martial arts.
And who are they?
Peter Cunningham, world champion in kickboxing. Elaine McCarthy, former coordinator for the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Never heard of these people.
A practitioner of martial arts.
Never heard of these fucking people.
Academy Award nominated filmmaker.
Edward Norton looks like he's uncomfortable. He doesn't want to be next to Steven Quadros. He looks like he's just fed up with Quadros' shit. And here we go. Oh, look at that. It's Bruce Buffer. Wow. Awesome. You know, I'm going to have to tweet at Quadros and ask him, was he under contract with Pride? Because this is 2001. This is right after... This would be right after Pride, Cold Fury, Pride 12, Cold Fury. So was he not under contract? Did Pride not have an exclusive contract with him? Maybe not. You know, Japanese organizations, they, at least pro wrestling organizations, they don't use any sort of contract, and everyone's just sort of freelance. So maybe Pride was doing the same thing. Yes, we are ready, Bruce. Nice black bow tie. He's all black. The guy was very stylish even back then. And he's got the petroleum jelly stuffed into his cheeks. He's like a little chipmunk. He just stuffs jelly and nuts into his cheeks. Who's this guy? Oh, our first bout is going to be an alternate bout here. It's going to see one of the Russians, Shamir Meromegab, taking on Lopez Marino.
At 81 kilograms, coming to us from
Valencia, Spain is Lopez Marino. I don't think they got his name right. Or either Sherdog got his name wrong, or these fucking clowns putting on this show got his name wrong. He's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. What the fuck is going on? Look at this dingy fucking arena they're in. This is not really putting Kuwait in a good light. Maromigab. Kickboxing is his style. I assume Samir here is from Dagestan, much like his compatriot Karamulov Barkalev, who's from Dagestan too. And if you know Dagestan, that's where Khabib Nurmagomedov is from. Dagestan, Russia, of course, is a majority Muslim state or area of Russia. So I wonder if Samir here, he's got a Shamir. I guess that would be like a Muslim name. So maybe he's. Oh my God! I just kicked him right in the head. Is that it? Wow, that was a very slow, almost Crow Cop-esque head kick there. And that's it. Big John McCarthy, who I just realized is in this event too. He just waved it off. Wow, they have all the classics in this event. They have Big John McCarthy, Bruce Buffer, Quadros. No expenses were spared for some of the factors of this tournament. But still, if you add it all up, it probably was only around $300,000, including the $60,000 prize money. So there you go, Shamir Meromegab is going to be our alternate fighter if one of the fighters in a tournament gets hurt. Maromigab. Boom, look at that. Perfect. I wouldn't say that Lopez Moreno was out. I mean, I think he was okay to keep going. But I don't know. Maybe Big John, he just wanted to be safe. Here must be explaining to Lopez. Wow, we're already into our next fight. It's going to be Antonio. Oh, what would happen to Lopez Moreno? This would be his one and only fight. He would never fight again. Next fight is going to be Antonio Tello taking on Khalid Mubarak. Antonio Tello. He's our second Spanish fighter here. This was his first fight as well. So he's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from Spain. I don't believe it. It must be a cheap knockoff of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Maybe they couldn't get anybody from Brazil to come over, so they got these Spanish fighters and say, just say you're Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And here's where I'm gonna assume that Khaled Mubarak he's from Kuwait. You sure he's not from Detroit? Shidokan Jitsu is his practitioner. I think he's a fill-in. Being honest here, I think he's a fill-in for the Russian fighter who was too overweight to compete, and they pretty much, he couldn't fight. I think he's a fill-in, and I don't. Oh my God! Look at his trunks. Is that Shidokan Jitsu style trunks? I think he is a fill-in replacement for the fat Russian. Oh wow, Antonio Tello here. It's a okay takedown, I guess, but I don't know about the credentials of. Oh my God! I just noticed his trunks have leopard skin. They're leopard spots. Oh, you're kidding me, right? Oh, Antonio's checking the oil there, really deep on that. He's in side control. Okay, maybe is pretty good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I guess. But what the fuck is Shidokan Jitsu? What is its style? Is it grappling? Is it stand-up? Is it submissions? What the fuck is it? And I was hoping here for, maybe a good demonstration of Shidokan Jitsu, but it's not looking good. Antonio is in mount here. Khalid is just holding on here. Some shots to the body. Well, that's his fucking style, Quadros. It said Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Notice how Tello's got his feet hooked under the knees of the opponent there again.
Yep, he does have that, Richard. Yeah, so I'm not seeing much from Shidokan Jitsu here, unless just holding on to the opponent is the main tool of Shidokan Jitsu. Hold on to him, that's great. You're doing it perfect. He's trying to bridge out of it, but really good control here from Antonio. He's got a good base on this mount. Well, he's got to turn and give up his back, Quadros, for one thing. That's what he should do. He should give up his back and then see what happens, and then immediately turn and give up mount again, and just keep rolling and spinning, and he'll eventually dislodge him. Anyway, that's just my recommendation. Too bad this is 18 years, 17 years after the fact.
Now he's got some distance
Antonio
from-
postures up here, but he doesn't get
Now
anything off.
Mubarak almost,
Mubarak,
out of there.
yeah. He's trying to, he's stuck here. Oh, he's giving up his back. Good, there you go. Oh, see, look at that. Oh, but he's left his arm out there. He's got an arm bar, but it's, ooh, light little slam there by Mubarak. Antonio still has, he doesn't really have much there. Yeah, he just lets it go. He pretty much had the fingers there on that. He didn't have really any wrist or forearm control. Some leg kicks here. Whoa, it was a pretty good. Whoa, big swinging, a miss. They grapple, and whoops. Mubarak here. Oh, he's kind of winded up on top, but nope. Antonio is transitioning, gonna take his back. He's kind of lost it here. Mubarak. Oh, he's just giving up mount. He's probably gonna do what he just did before. He's probably gonna roll, give up his back, and. But Antonio is back in mount here. Yep, so I'm not seeing a whole lot from Shidokan Jitsu. I still don't know what type of style it is. I don't know if it's grappling, submissions, stand-up, kicking. I mean, he was kind of kicking the legs there. They didn't really do much, but it looked kind of good. Forearm grinding to the face from Antonio. I haven't, so, oh, look at that. Nice little turn there by Mubarak, and he gets on top. Oh, leg triangle coming up. Nope. He's trying for an arm bar now, maybe. He might be trying to, okay, he's got an arm bar, yep. Nope. Mubarak turns, ooh, that is pretty tight. No, he didn't, he just let it go. Wow. And Antonio's now, he's inside control. He's on top. So Mubarak survived 2 arm bars here, pretty good. Oh, Antonio goes for mount, bad idea. He was way too high. He's got the arm. Once again, showing off his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's adequate, I guess, but it's not super clean. Oh, he's got it. Wow. I can't believe Mubarak hasn't tapped yet. How is he not getting this armbar? He has the legs over the head. Mubarak just turns out of it and gets on top. Scissors his body. This is sloppy. This is really sloppy. Both guys, this looks like it's their first fight, for sure. And this is also, I didn't mention it, but this is Khalid Mubarak's first fight as well. So it's both men's first fight. Antonio has mount again. What is it with this camera angle? What is this? Much better camera angle here. Not a whole lot of action happening though. Mubarak is again reverted to just holding on here. He hasn't had really any. He had a brief moment of offense on the feet, but other than that, he's just been defending and trying to do reversals on the ground. It's all been Antonio Tello. So I'll accept that Antonio Tello. Is this a stand-up coming from? Good job, Big John. That's right. Nicely done. Nicely done. So let's see what. Oh no! What the fuck has happened? It's like I gotta fix this fucking glove.
Well, it looks like that Mubarak's glove came off.
Oh boy.
The safety of the fighters has taken him back to his corner.
Yeah, the safety of the fighters. It's like, give me some fucking tape.
So we've got a timeout right now to ensure the safety of the fighters.
So is that Antonio Tello's coach there? No idea who that is.
Hygiene hazards.
Valley Tudo is said on the back of his shirt. Alright, here we go with the tape. Oh, good job, fucking Big John. What the fuck? What the fuck was that, Big John? Horrible job. Stick to reffing. Because being a glove prepper is not your strong suit. Here we go. We're restarted standing. Let's see if Mubarak Khalid can do anything. They grapple. He's grabbing the cage. That cheating fuck. I guess that's legal. Nope, Big John was getting in there telling him, don't grab that cage, motherfucker. Antonio has his back here. Mubarak. Big elbow attempt. He's grabbing a cage again. Big John is getting in his face.
I would predict that this fight will be on the mat within a minute.
Oh, very good prediction there, Quadros. You are a modern day Nostradamus.
He's to the side right now. He doesn't have any striking arms.
Don't grab that cage one more time, you motherfucker. He's like, come on, man. I think he might be from Detroit and not quite. He's like, come on, man.
I think you'll find Tello will go for the full mount once again, which he's been successful with.
Tello's going to go for the full mount once again. We'll see if he gets it. What's that tattoo he's got? Is that some sort of crown? What is that? Almost looks like an Aztec sun, but I don't think it is. Alright, so we're back on the ground here. Both men are pretty sweaty. Antonio Tello is inside control. Oh, he could be what the fuck? Is Khalid okay? Oh, he's working for an arm triangle here. I think he is. I assume he is. Nope, he lost it. Damn. I don't know if Mubarak understands himself trapping himself in some of these submissions here. I don't know Shidokan. I'm still confused. And I'm almost positive when I said that Shidokan Jitsu is like the Kuwaiti national martial arts or whatever. I'm almost 99% positive that I am correct. I don't know for 100% certainty, but I'm just really pretty positive that that's what it is. Oh, he's got the arm triangle. No, he's in mount. He's doing it wrong. He needs to get over to the side. But Khalid here might just tap out anyway. I mean, it's pretty tight, I guess. He punches here. He should get to the side. I don't think Mubarak understands what's going to happen. Oops, that was not the right move. He fucked himself right there. He tapped out. that was not how you get out of it, Mubarak. He just made it tighter on himself. Let me turn into him. Good job. And there we go. This would be Khalid Mubarak's one and only professional fight. I think the Sheikh was disgusted at his showing of Shidokan Jitsu, and I don't know if I honestly believe he's a practitioner of Shidokan Jitsu. But I can never be positive. Antonio Tello moves on. Mubarak, well, he'll go back and work on his Shidokan Jitsu, I'm sure. Tello is the winner. The crowd sounds pretty upset here. How many people are in attendance for this? Like a dozen? And the men here are grappling on the surface of the sun. It was so overexposed. The cameras are pretty awful. This is borderline consumer level VHS camcorders that they're using. They obviously, the $1.5 million charged to the Sheikh was not spent on either graphics or cameras. And both men have resorted to wearing glasses. Fucking nerds. What's Quadros drinking there? An energy drink, or is that Norton's energy drink? Or is that Fuse, that energy beer? Oh, and here we go. It's time for the next fight. This is going to be Dave Manet. And he's going to be led out by Pat Miletich, who I believe was the UFC welterweight champion at the time. I could be wrong, though. Bruce Buffer. Bruce Buffer must have flew over with Pat Miletich. They must have said, hey, you're going to get paid $15,000 to go over. And because Bruce Buffer at this time, I mean, he was just in the shadow of his brother. He's not like now. I mean, now he's got it made. You know, he's got the easy gig with the UFC. But back at this time, UFC was fucking on crutches. You know, just struggling to survive. So I'm sure he was looking for work. Dave Benet. Is that no, I was thinking he's somebody else. The guy that was with him, the guy with the beard. I was gonna say that looked like it was. Oh God. What's his fucking noggin? I just said it earlier. Monty Cox. It might be Monty Cox. It looks like it could be Monty Cox, who's recently gotten into some legal trouble over his promoting. Who is Dave Benet? We don't know anything about Dave Benet. He's from the USA. He was 26 years old here. His record coming into this fight was 27-6-2. Carlos Newton, he's from the land of the Canucks, home of the Wild Moose. He was 24 years old here, and his record was 9-3. Dave Benet got his start back in the Hook and Shoot promotion, where in April of '97 he would win their newly minted lightweight championship after winning the two-night Hook and Shoot lightweight tournament on April 4th and 5th. Dave defeated 4 men over those 2 nights to claim the championship. He then went to Extreme Challenge for Extreme Challenge 5, another tournament, about 10 days later. He would win the first fight of the tournament before losing to Shoney Carter in the second fight. He took about a year off, fighting in various regional MMA promotions after that, from Extreme Challenge, Gladiators, mixing in some Shuto, Danger Zone, Super Brawl, and more. Just prior to Shidokan Jitsu here, Dave was well on his way to the finals of the Ring's 2000 King of Kings tournaments, after beating Wataru Sakata and Roberto Traven in the A block opening rounds. The final rounds of the King of Kings 2000 tournament would take place only 16 days after Shidokan Jitsu here. We all know about Carlos Newton. This was Newton's first MMA appearance after his decision victory over Yohil de Oliveira at Pride 12, Cold Fury, in December of 2000. Dave Benet opened up with a kick there. He got taken down by Newton. Newton, who is really, in my opinion, for this era, he was probably the most well-rounded fighter there was. I put him and I would say, I'm forgetting. Oh, my boy, Guy Mesger. Him and Guy Mesger, really the most well-rounded guys in terms of striking, grappling, and submissions. Carlos Newton maybe more so, because I think he's more refined on the ground and with his submissions. And you know what? Carlos Newton was a good striker too. I don't understand how he didn't have more success. Dave Benet is up here and he's controlling Newton. I would say he's stronger. His jockstrap is coming out his fucking shorts there. He goes down for a double leg and Newton just gives up and goes to his back. He's already trying to get out of it though. I don't know about that, Quadros, maybe. Benet was definitely a beast coming into this fight. His record, I mean, he had well over 30 fights. And he started in 1997. So to have that many fights in that short a period of time. Now granted, he had a couple of tournaments. More than a couple tournaments, but still, he's pretty beastly. A guy that doesn't get a whole lot of recognition or credit. What the fuck is this camera angle? We get a shot of the view from the commentator's booth. Very unnecessary. The director, they obviously spent no money on the fucking director. They probably found some kid who was cleaning the toilets. Oh my god, are knees allowed on a grounded opponent to the head? Fuck, those 2 knees. And Carlos shoots up like a bat out of hell to get out of that position. Good job by Carlos. Carlos is in dominant control here. Carlos, for as good as he would, he just didn't have a whole lot of success, and I don't understand why. He would win the welterweight title. Oh, nice punch there on the exit. In fact, I believe it's immediately after Shidokan Jitsu, he would go and fight Pat Miletich, who was Dave Benet's coach. He would fight him at UFC something or another, and he would beat Pat Miletich for the welterweight title. Newton shoots in there with a raging right. Doesn't really connect. Dave Manet clenches up against the cage. Dave Manet is going to take him down here. Maybe he's got the back. Knees. And he just sort of separates there. I don't understand why. Why didn't he try and drag that to the ground? Carlos Newton, maybe, you know what, he had too much muscle. Oh, nice little swing under the arms there and a good takedown by Newton. Newton, for much hype he had for his natural muscles where he didn't do any type of weightlifting to gain his muscles, he did have too much muscle, I would say, to be a fighter. If he would have leaned out just a little bit, but I don't know if his gas tank was ever the problem. I'm trying to figure out what was the problem with Carlos Newton, why he wasn't like one of the most dominant guys. Oh, he's setting up an armbar here, but what arm is he going for? What was that, Carlos? That was not, that was poorly executed there. Yeah, he's still trying to hold on to that, but he didn't have much there. I'm trying to find what was the chink in Newton's armor. Why wasn't he like totally dominant? He had the skill set. You know, he is like a modern day, well-rounded fighter, just a streamlined MMA fighter with, you know, stand-up, punching, kicking, grappling, and submissions. I mean, that's if you're not well-rounded in that, like today, if you're not really streamlined in those three skill sets, you're not going to be very successful. And not a lot of guys were well-rounded like that around this time. Carlos Newton was a stud. I just don't get it. Nice takedown there by Newton. He's getting clobbered in the head by Manet. He's in half guard, I believe, maybe. I can't tell, but I'm going to assume it's half guard. It could be side control. I believe it's half guard. What the fuck? Who cares? Yeah, so reading here in my notes, I have Carlos Newton. He would fight Pat Miletich at UFC 31 in May of 2001, which is, what, 3 months after this event here. He would lose that title shortly after at UFC 34 in November later in the year. He would lose that to Matt Hughes, another fighter who's going to be appearing later tonight in this tournament. Matt Hughes would actually is a really nice slam, pretty much coast-to-coast slam, and knocked out Newton with that slam. Nice, he gets them out here. He tries to rain down hell, but he doesn't. He's trying for some separation here. Manet's holding on. See, just judging by this, Newton has done really good on the ground. Manet kind of was on top for a little bit, but he didn't really accomplish much here. Carlos Newton's going for all sorts of strikes. He's fucking doing heel kicks to the thighs. He's working punches. He's really high right now. He's better watch out because Manet might sneak out the back. Manet is just trying to hold on here, but oh, there he goes. Nice little turn there. I saw that coming a mile away. The center of gravity for Newton was really high on that, and he didn't have a tight grip, so it was really easy for Manet to turn there. And plus, he's pretty sweaty at this point. He's got a nice little slick going across his body, and Newton as well. It's probably pretty hot there. I mean, I don't know what the average temperature of Kuwait is during the evening hours, or maybe this took place during the day. Any case, considering how little money was actually being spent on this event, like the actual amenities of the event, I'm sure it's probably about 85 degrees, 90 degrees in that auditorium because they didn't have any air conditioners. Manet kind of was up there for a second. Don't know what that was all about. Now Manet is a little bit more active from the top, working some ground and pound. Carlos is trying to push him down. Really slick now, so it's going to be pretty tough for any submissions to really come now. I think Newton's going to have lost his opening here, but you know what? He could go for a leg triangle. Leg triangle You might disagree with me, but I think leg triangles are easier when somebody's sweaty because it's easier to slip your leg up and you know, slip in and lock in the triangle. And plus it gets tighter because the guy's slippery and he will Oh, that was a good sweep there by Newton. Newton's up. Liam, what the fuck is going on with the camera? The camera's like backing up from the action. Newton wants to bang here. Oh, Manet kicks him right in the face. Whoa. Oh, that was good. Another head kick. Newton was kind of shocked by it, but he wasn't really hurt. It looked better than how much damage was actually delivered by it. But as I was saying, you know, with the leg triangle, a guy gets in it, he just locks himself in deeper with the sweat. That's just my opinion. No, you could disagree with me. Manet's back on top here. Yeah, if we're going to have a 10-minute round here, is an overtime round going to be needed? I don't know. I would say it's been pretty even.
Unless Carlos does something drastic, Richard, I think Manet has done enough to win the round.
Come on, Quadros, no way. If we were going by pride rules here, Carlos Newton has had he's had one submission attempt. He was on top and mount. He did some damage from the top. I mean, Manet's got some bruises on his head. You know what? Carlos Newton's face looks clean. He took that head kick. Yeah, it looked good, but I don't think it did anything. Manet here is grabbing the dick. Oh, Carlos doesn't like that, so kicks him. Are you gonna let him stand up? Oh, and that's it. The bell. What the fuck was that? Was that a bell ring or a fucking horn? One of those New Year's Eve horns. Newton, you know what? Honestly, I would call that a draw. I would call that round a draw. I don't think either man did enough to win it. So I would like to see a 5-minute overtime round here. What the fuck is Big John doing? Oh, those knees were tough though. Oh, that was a big one, and then he gets one more. That was more of a pushing knee. Oh, right there, that hurts. That one hurts too. Boom! See, that looked worse than what it was. Once again, they're fighting on the surface of the sun. Can't see shit. They're showing all Manet's work, but what about some of Carlos Newton's work, boys? I guess they're telegraphing who's going to win this fucking fight. That was a good little under swing around takedown there. Newton, okay. Was that the highlight? God, this really is a pathetic setup they have here for this event. It looks like it's an amateur high school gymnasium. There you go, Dave Manet is the winner, I guess. I would have sent that to a overtime round. Dave Manet. Well, what would happen with Carlos Newton after this? We'll next see him in Pride at Pride 19. Bad Blood. There he's going to be taking on Jose Landy. Of course, I already mentioned that he would fight Matt Hughes, or he'd fight Pat Miletich, win the UFC welterweight championship in May of 2001. He would lose it to Matt Hughes in November at UFC 34. He would fight Matt Hughes once more after that for the title, but he'd get TKO'd, that time at UFC 38. See you around, Carlos. It's time for our next fight, which is Jeetzu Lerma taking on Karamula Barkalev. Is that Yul Brenner or Colonel Kurtz? Colonel Kurtz is a reference to Apocalypse Now. Is he another Spanish fighter? Holy fuck! They have they have a contingent of Spanish fighters here. Karamula Barkalev. Not sure how old he is. Not sure. I don't know anything about Jeetzu Lerma here. This was Jeetzu's first fight. So here comes Karamula Barkalev, he's a good-looking guy.
Barkalev from Dagestan.
Barkalev.
Now, he is the heaviest.
Are you sure it's not Barkalev there, Quadros? Barkalev, he exploded on the MMA scene in 1997 at the International Absolute Fighting Championships #2. He would go on to win 2 tournaments, the Russian Open Pankration Cup in December of 97 and Brilliance Kiev 1999 tournament in December of 99. His record coming into Shidokan Jitsu here was a perfect 9-0. Jeetzu, a man of unknown origins, is making his MMA debut. So here's Karamulov, kind of a very interesting character. He seemed like he was a beast, an absolute beast of MMA abilities. And he's got a great fighter's body. You know, you look at his body, it's kind of unassuming, but that is a great fighter's body. He's got just enough muscle. Good leg kicks here. So I don't know what he's Barkalev. Oh, nice spinning back kick there. Wow. You look at his stance. He's got a very Fedor-esque stance, Sambo stance. So I wonder if he's got Sambo. It's not like the perfect Sambo stance. His arms are a little too close together. There's a shoot-in by Jeetzu, who I didn't read his little graphic. I wasn't paying attention, but I assume he's another Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner from Spain. Barkalev is on top here. But going back, I really do think Barkalev here has the perfect fighter's body. Just enough muscle. And not too much muscle that he would gas out, and you know, and just enough flab. Just, you don't need to be like perfectly skinny and toned, 100% muscle. I think that's bad for a fighter, because you're battling yourself. When your heart has to pump harder to feed your muscles with oxygen, with blood, you know, and your lungs have to feed oxygen to your muscles and stuff like that. I mean, if you want to look great, that's fine. But anyway. What was the most underused technique in mixed martial arts here? So Yul Brenner on the bottom. He's really kind of just got Barkalev on lockdown here. He's locked his arms very nicely. That is good. Now he's got butterfly, half a butterfly. Barkalev stands up out of that. Jeetzu's going for the legs. There's a knee. Barkalev's got him clinched here. Oh, nice little turning, nice little Sambo takedown there. I'm attributing that takedown to Sambo. That was a very Sambo-esque sort of throw. But, it could have been judo as well. Barkalev. It's, I don't know how to pronounce Russian names, so I'm just going to continue to call him Barkalev. I could be totally wrong, though. Oh, he just sort of walks away here. He wants Jeetzu to stand up. So let's see if Jeetzu, who's got a very Gracie-esque boxing stance here. I wonder if he learned that from... Oh, he almost gets booted in the face there. So the rules to this are Pride-esque, with knees and kicks to the head of a downed opponent being legal. Stepping in. Nice, another beautiful throw there by Barkalev. That was very clean and very nice. He's definitely got Jeetzu outclassed here. And being that this is Jeetzu's first MMA bout, it's it's a no-brainer that he would be outclassed by a beast like Barkalev.
Certainly in this defensive position right now, you notice he's just holding Barkalev close so he can't get any distance to offload any punches.
Yeah, Jeetzu does have pretty good control from the bottom. Maybe he works off his back a lot in training, so he's used to being here.
Then Lerner will be able to get the hooks in and maybe go go for a sweep and he reverses.
So they brought in these Spanish guys. The Syrian promoter
Lerma going underneath.
brought in, you know, a couple Americans. We'll just throw Carlos Newton in there as well because he's, you know, from Canada. Might as well be from America. So 3 Americans, 3 Spanish, and then there was 3 Russians. But one of the Russians was forced to pull out, and so that's why I believe that Khalid was a replacement, or Dursu here could have been a replacement because he. None of the Spanish guys ever had any MMA experience. They only had that one fight, except Antonio Tello, who I did not cover what would happen to him yet because, well, he's still going on in the tournament. But I think he had a couple more fights after this. But maybe Dursu was the replacement for the other Russian because maybe he was training buddies with the other Spanish guys and he was just brought along to, you know, bring to hold the water bottles. But he got inadvertently thrown in here. Yeah, Antonio Tello was the only one out of the 3 Spanish fighters to have any further career after Shidokan Jitsu here. He'd actually have 9 fights total. Not a bad record, but I'll cover more on that later.
Oh, the natives are restless tonight, folks.
The natives are restless tonight. Why are they pissed off over this fight here? And what do they want to see? Blood? Do they want to see his head get knocked off?
I think that Barkalev might be able to muscle his way out of Lerma's armbar.
What? Are you okay, Quadros? So I had imagined that just passingly listening to the commentators here, Quadros and Norton, who's the play-by-play guy and who's the color guy? I think the mistake is that Norton sounds like he's wanting to do play-by-play too, and Quadros obviously is a natural play-by-play guy. Good little punch there. Karamula stands up, he fixes his fucking trunks. I think he's a good-looking guy. You know, not gay or anything like that, but he's a good-looking guy. A good-looking Russian. Yeah, very Gracie-esque here from Dursu. I wonder... Whoop, and that was definitely a Rickson Gracie-like charge-in. That was 100% Rickson Gracie. How many times have we seen Rickson Gracie do that same move? That little fake stomp in and shoot. Wow. So I wonder if he trained under Rickson Gracie, or maybe he trained under a Gracie who taught Rickson Gracie how to do that. Or maybe his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu credentials are all him watching tapes of Rickson Gracie. Karamula's on top here, north-south position. Freaky mount. Now he's getting a full mount, but he's kind of lost it here, and wow, he's just all over him. He had about 10 different positions there. Kick him in the face! It doesn't come. Karamula's back to standing here. Dursu is saying, can I get up? Karamula looks like he's gassing out here. Oh, wow. Probably the weight cut, because he wasn't expecting to have it to lose weight the night before the fight. Oh, he goes for that spinning back kick again. Really quick and clean on that. So maybe Barkalev's energy here is running low because of the weight cut. Ooh, knees in a forward position. Is that Spock in the background over there? I just seen him in the gray suit. Oh, you could barely make him out, but it looked like Spock. Leonard Nimoy. Here's our up close and personal camera angle. I seen this coming because you can see the fucking clown standing right there. The natives are restless, as Quadro said. They're chanting and clapping, "End this fight! End this fight!" What was that noise? Was that the bell? I was hoping this fight was over. So Barkaleo, for as much of a beast he was apparently a beast, he's not really showing it off here. Dursu Luma is borderline. He's got him in, I don't know, like a forward headlock position, but upside down. He is in a bad position, but yeah, I would say that Dursu is a rank amateur.
That man would probably be tapping out.
So Barkalev is not looking too great here.
I think he knows
He's not putting any hurts on him. Oh, and there's the bell. Little clank of a fucking a piece of metal. They just have some sheet metal and they just clank it with a little ball peen hammer. Clink. That's their bell. No expenses were spared. Oh, there's that kick and really just sort of knocks him back. I don't think it was flush to like knock the breath out of him. Fighting on the surface of the sun. It's scorching. Yeah, obviously the decision here is going to go to Barkalev. He was in dominant position for most of the fight. He's on top. He had some good striking. Dursu didn't really get much off here. Look at us, all these position changes. There was like 5 position changes in 3 seconds. North-south, mount, side control, swinging around, spinning around on top.
And here we go for the ring for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10
No surprise. Can you guess who wins? Karimula Barkalev.
Barkalov advances into the tournament.
Barkalov. Maybe that's how you say it.
Now,
And it's going to be our last quarterfinal fight coming up here.
can stand up a little bit too.
I think Manet's going to be too
It's going to be Jose Landy taking on Matt Hughes. Dursu Luma, he would never fight again. This was his one and only professional fight. Jose Landy comes into this fight 15-4. He's taking on Matt Hughes, coming into this fight with a record of 22-2. We know a little bit about Jose Landy from his appearances in Pride. He's a Brazilian. He was 27 years old here, and in fact, his appearance here is immediately before his debut in Pride at Pride 14. Prior to this, Jose fought in Mecca World Valley Tudo, WEF, and a bunch of IVCs, including winning the IVC 5 tournament. He also won both the BVF 5 and 6 tournaments. That's Brazilian Valley Tudo Fighting. Up to this point, Jose was quite a stud. Matt Hughes, likewise, was also a stud. An animal, I would say. He started his MMA career in January of 1998 for JKD promotion. That's Jeet Kune Do Challenge. At JKD number 1, he would KO slam Eric Schneider. Then at JKD number 2, he TKO'd Craig Quick. JKD number 2, as it so happens, also saw the debut of the most feared post-KO hammer fister himself, Mike Russell. Like Jose, Matt Hughes would win a tournament, Extreme Challenge 29, in November of 1999, where he beat 3 opponents in one night, including Laverne Clark. I have it, Laverne Fists of Fury Clark, and it was fucking me up. Just prior to Shidokan Jitsu here, Matt Hughes fought Dennis Hallman at UFC 29 in Tokyo, Japan. On December 16th of 2000. Unfortunately, Matt was armbarred after 20 seconds in the first round. There's Matt Hughes looking freaky looking with his giant fucking jaw and his stubby neck. Yeah, he does. In fact, he does. He would KO a couple people with it before people caught on to it.
Matt Hughes wants to take it down and ground and pound. And here we go, folks.
So let's see what happens here. Jose Pele versus Matt Hughes. You know, a lot of the fights on Shidokan Jitsu here, you could find them as individual fights on YouTube, but I don't think there's ever been a full version of the event seen in whole on YouTube. And all the various fights, the singular fights, you can find this fight, and I'm pretty sure the Newton versus Manet fight is out there too. But they're all varying degrees of quality. You know, some of them are okay, other ones are piss poor. Shoot in there by Matt Hughes with a fake little left. They grapple here. This is an interesting knee that was a little low. Pele fires his own. This is an interesting American grappler versus Brazilian grappler matchup. Really kind of a meeting of two studs from totally different practices here. Matt Hughes is trying to keep control here. He's aiming the knees. Pele's deciding to go over the top with punches. Who's going to win this battle of wills and strength? So far, I would give it to Matt. He's had a little bit more control. Oh, Pele's moving forward now himself. Hard to say who's going to win this battle. Knee to the thigh there by Matt. Matt, I think, is kind of Matt, who is just a welterweight here. You know, 170. I don't know why he's fighting in a middleweight tournament. You know, Jose Pele was definitely a middleweight. He probably, after he rehydrated, was probably closer to 190. Matt Hughes, I don't think was even hitting 180 here. I'd be surprised if he was 180. So I think he's given up some weight here to Pele, who is more... Oh, nice! But, oh! Matt Hughes, with a reversal of fortunes there, gets on top. He's in side control. That was really a quick snap reversal there by Matt Hughes. Good job. He almost was turning as he was in air or getting ready to turn as soon as they hit the ground. Very nicely done. He's in side control, as I said. Yeah, so Pele was definitely at his natural weight class. Matt was out of his weight class here, so I was kind of wouldn't have been surprised if Pele was able to control Matt Hughes in a grapple. Now Matt Hughes is going to ride the knee just a little bit. He's grinding Pele's face into the cage. Maybe he's going to do a shoulder strike here. The knee really is just sort of to protect if Jose tries to turn or bridge out of this. Matt's, what has he got? Parkinson's disease? his leg was shaking there. Like tensed up. He's throwing a knee with that, but I don't think he's real serious with that knee. Just grinding his head skin, his head fat into the cage, and giving him head wrinkles. Like, how do you like that? Matt Hughes is pretty stifling here, but he's not doing a whole lot other than laying on top of Pele. He's doing a couple strikes, but nothing really dangerous or nothing very serious. I would say the big chink in Matt Hughes' game at this point in time would have been his submissions. How many submission wins did he have up until this point? Let's take a look real quick. The power of Sherdog will tell us a little here. Let's see. He had TKO, technical submission, TKO, decision, 2 submissions, another submission. He had a couple submissions. What the fuck just happened there? Knee, I missed it. What is that? It? You stopped it? Oh, Quadros coughs. Wow, I missed it. I looked away for 1 second. I missed the knockout there. That's a KO. It's ruled a KO by a knee. Let's see the replay here.
Nice sportsmanship there from Matt Hughes. You see that? Going over to shake his hand.
He's impressed by the shaking of the hands. That's the rule. That's what you do. Oh, Landy's the winner. After this, Matt Hughes, though suffering 2 back-to-back losses, wouldn't lose again until he fought BJ Penn at UFC 46 in January of 2004. That's 13 straight wins. What can be said about Matt Hughes that hasn't already been said? Love him, hate him. The guy was one of the men dragging the UFC to the mainstream in the mid-2000s. And he is undoubtedly a legend of the sport. I'm going to press play here, or press pause here. Since we're at the halfway point of our tournament, we're done with the quarterfinals, and now we're going to move into the semifinals before we get to the final fight. I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to go have a drink, maybe a smoke, maybe a nap, and I will be back. All right, fight fans, I'm back after that short break and ready to continue here. So I'm going to be pressing play in 3, 2, 1, play. Here we go. There's a black screen in between. This must be an intermission. Here we go. We're ready for the semifinals. Yes, we're ready, Bruce Buffer. A substitution. Okay, so Antonio Tello got hurt. The Spaniard, I guess he didn't want to fight Dave Manet. Maybe he was afraid to fight Dave Manet. What's his noggin? The other Russian is going to be taking place. Do we really need another introduction for... There's Shamir Maromegov. His record was, did he say his record was 24-2? I don't know where they got that, because according to Sherdog, he never fought before this. So maybe he had a lot of fights in regional Russian promotions that weren't accounted for. Or maybe if I was Russian and I was searching Russian Google, I'd get a better idea. Or maybe there's more information out there in Russian sources. Bruce Buffer's suddenly got very quiet. Money! Almost sounds like money. Here we go. Shamir Momegamog. I got a speedy freeze from Speedway. They just opened up a speedway, a new speedway locally here. 79 cents, any size, speedy freeze, and they have like 12 different flavors of freezes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's kind of like a Slurpee, I guess. Like if you're familiar with Simpsons, the Slurpees. Whoa, Shamir runs in with a nice 1-2. Dave Manet looks unrattled though. Shamir, he's in really short sort of boxer trunks, tight trunks maybe. They're more boxerish trunks. Is he a Sambo fighter too, I assume? He's got his hands held like a Sambo. Did I mention that before? He's got a very Sambo-esque sort of stance. Low hands, a lot of bouncing around. See how the left hand is leading low, but it's out there ready for defense. Ooh, nice little body kick that was mostly blocked. What is he calling him? Mohagamog? Manet shoots in. He wants to take it to the ground. Shamir, nice defenses though. Very good job for Shamir. Shamir's, he's got some skill here. Ooh, nice. That was a very Igor Volchanskin-like overhand right. He's kind of shaped like Igor, except his legs aren't as big, but he's sort of got that stumpy, low center of gravity. He's probably hard to get down. Manet is the taller fighter by far. But Shamir, he's got that. Oh, nice. That was, again, that looked just like Igor Volchanchin. Wow, nice snapping kick there. So he's, whoa, that jumping, spinning back kick. That was quite beautiful. This is an impressive display here from Shamir. Wow. Why didn't somebody see this guy latch onto him and like bring him over to Pride? I don't get it. Manet moves forward with a missing 1-2 high kick. Shamir right now is sort of controlling the flow. He looks very confident. Very nice fight so far. Ooh, Manet moves in. He's going to grapple, but again, Shamir can just get lower than him. Oh, Manet's not giving up. Nope. Another failed attempt there. Shamir, wow, nice raging left there. Manet, though, dirty boxing on the inside. This is a good fight. Wow. I'm going to enjoy some more Speedy Freeze. Mmm. It's delicious.
Oh, there's that left hand.
Oh, there's that left. It was mostly blocked there. Richard Norton. You know, I did send a tweet out to Quadros to see if he would reply and say whether, you know, find out if he was under contract with Pride, if they allowed him to do other shows. He just liked my tweet. He didn't reply. Motherfucker. I was half tempted to reply, Quadros, I'm not looking for a like, I'm looking for information here. But I just said forget it. Manet moving forward here with kicks.
Manet doing the chasing now.
Manet doing the chasing now. Oh.
Good right hand, chopping right hand there by
Yeah,
Shamir.
it was mostly blocked, but it probably hurt like right on the earlobe.
Shamir has got confidence in his eyes.
He's got a confidence in his eyes. Can you really see his eyes, Quadros? They just look like black blobs. I can't see much. He's got a confidence in his stance.
Seems to be in really good condition too. He doesn't seem to be breathing hard at all.
Well, no, he had barely a fight, Quadros, at the beginning of the card. Of course he's not.
Busy.
Manet moving forward here. Manet is definitely, he had the longer fight.
Pushing Shamir back. Shamir won the
So,
knockdown.
and
Let's get
he
back in
fought,
there.
well, just before the Pele fight.
Will land a few punches, but the other guy
So I think he's probably more tired. Shamir is obviously a lot fresher here.
kickboxing so far. Manet tried to take it to the ground twice, but
Shamir again, I'm really impressed. He's looking good. Manet moves forward here, misses mostly. Oh, now he gets him there. Nice, he tagged him at least twice with the punches and then the kick. Manet is now in a good position here with over-unders. He's finally got, oh, nice. Was Shamir thinking about a slam there? That was a good knee up top. In this position, Shamir is going to be in trouble because clinching against a taller guy, unless he's going for a takedown, he's going to get eaten up here. And Manet is eating him up with these knees so far.
Manet loaded up with that knee, he could knock him out.
I think Shamir's got a little cut on the bridge of his nose. Yeah, Manet is just gushing sweat. Like I said, it's probably 85 degrees in that freaking auditorium, wherever the hell they held this. It's kind of sad that, I was expecting, you know, being Kuwait, it's an oil-rich, tiny nation, but it's probably got borderline unlimited money at its disposal. Why wouldn't they hold this in like a fancy... I mean, did you see the Greatest Royal Rumble? What kind of show the Saudis put on? I mean, that stadium that they had for that show, it was quite amazing. It really was. I mean, they were out to impress, and when you have unlimited money, you can definitely impress. I kind of liked the Greatest Royal Rumble. I thought it was poorly paced, though. They had some of the matches that they should have not had in the order they had them. And I think the 50... Whoa! Manet goes for a knee there, and Shamir capitalizes, takes him down. He's in guard. I don't know if he wants to be in this position, though, unless he's getting tired and he doesn't want to do stand-up anymore. I don't know about the 50-man Royal Rumble. It was way too long. Oh my God. It was still a fun show. I know a lot of people have thoughts on the fact that there was no women and how could WWE support a nation. Yeah, and I agree. And I was looking for the fully clothed burqa women in the audience, and I spotted a couple, but they obviously weren't going to show them because that would weird out Americans. But I thought it was interesting that women could only go to the event if they were accompanied by a male chaperone. That stuff's not talked about. And why am I talking about Saudi Arabia? Who fucking cares? I mean, I don't live in Saudi Arabia. It's not my country. What do I care what they do there? They can do whatever the hell they want. I mean, whatever. Anyway. The fight's pretty good. Shamir is now grinding on Manet, but I don't think he should be doing this. Like I said, unless he's getting tired, he should pull away and go for stand-up. I can only guess he's getting tired, though, and he wants to grind and take a breather. But he should be striking. He had very much success. To speak like a person who doesn't know English. Very much success, very great success on the feet. He's back to banging now. He should do this more. He should probably stick with a 1-2 kick. Just stick Manet with a jab, straight kick. That's my go-to combo. You get him distracted on the punches. The kick lands. You get the shin right into the meaty part of the thigh. It's like a baseball bat. It hurts. You do that about 5 times, and they're going to be all out of sorts, not knowing what the hell to do. Shamir is slowing down here. I think Dave Manet is better built for this type of grinding fight. I think Shamir might be used to, if his record was really 24-2, he must be used to quick fights, quick stand-up kickboxing type fights. He almost goes for another pickup there, or grab the knee and slam. He's fading here though, and I see this fight has turned, and Manet is now in his comfort zone, and he's just grinding him with these knees. He's been relentless with these knees. Good job by Manet here. Oh, Shamir there, getting tired of them up those knees to the head, tries to grab it again. He should forget about that. He should work on separating here. Get his arms under, separate. Don't let Manet hold him in this position. This is bad. Shamir looked great in the beginning. He's looking pretty bad right now. If I was in his corner, I'd be telling him, get out of there, get your hands under, break his lock, separate, and go back to those jump lunging in lefts over the top rights. Even work leg kicks, Anyway. This fight's slowed down now. It started out great. Now it's more of just this one of these plodding, grinding MMA. And I'm not against this. I don't hate this style of MMA fight. But I'm like, come on. I'm like a casual fan. I prefer to see the stand up in the throwing bombs.
And like we said earlier, Steve, this is what I said about the difference of the tournament. Now this is a tough fight for both these guys.
All right.
They gotta be really having.
Manet, he's a grinder. Oh, he separates there. Oh, that was it. 10 minutes. Let's see what's going to happen here. Are we going to go to an overtime round? I think we might. Maybe not. Let's see what the judges think indeed. Well, I mean, the first part of the match, the first part of the round, Shamir definitely had Manet backing up, backpedaling, and he was definitely in control of the fight. But then, yeah, maybe it was around the 6-minute mark. Shamir, I think, started to gas out, maybe, and he didn't want to stand. Manet, right now, I would say, he doesn't look bad. He's got water dripping down his head. That can't be sweat. Shamir didn't look too bad either. He was still bouncing around in his corner. I think they should go another 5 minutes here. They should go to an overtime round.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 minutes of extreme action, the judges have reached a unanimous decision. For the winner, from the USA,
Oh, wow. Boo, I would have liked to seen that go to an overtime round, but it might have been more of the same, just a whole 5 minutes of grinding. That's a surprising decision, though. I mean, I don't think you could have given it to any guy outright. What would happen with Shamir? I have no idea what would happen to Shamir. The guy is a ghost. I see nothing about him online, and I tried to search, but I couldn't find anything. So, oh well. Happy trails, Shamir. You did good. Dave Manet now moves into the finals. It's time for our other semifinal bout with Karim Karimula Bakalev. He's taking on Jose Landy.
An expert in jiu-jitsu, judo, and kickboxing.
Again, do we really need to reintroduce these guys? We already introduced them when they came in for the first fights. After 10 minutes of extreme fighting. Maybe it is Barkalev. I thought you pronounced that last part Lev. Barkalev. I'm sure Bruce Buffer knows. Trust Bruce Buffer's pronunciation better than mine, because I'm sure he cares. I'm sure he does. I'm not being sarcastic here. I'm sure as an announcer, one of his, well, it should be one of his first things is to find out how these guys want their name pronounced. Landy with a Y, not an I. All right, so let's see what happens here. All right, here we go. This is gonna be a tough challenge for Jose Landy, because Karimula, he's got some skills. Yeah, he has some great weapons. All right, so Big John McCarthy wants to make sure these fucking gloves stay on, I guess.
That spinning back kick and stand-up skills in general. Bakalov again, very cool. It'll be interesting to see.
All right, he just, jeez, come on. So I guess Big John is not confident in the tape that these guys had put on before, so he told him, just come to the ring without any tape over the gloves. I'll put it on. Karimula looks pretty fresh here. Jose, who just got over that pretty grinding fight against Matt Hughes. We'll see how he holds up here. Look at the logo that they have in the center. The Warriors War One, and it has one of those Muslim warrior helmets. The Saracen cavalry helmet. I don't know. It looks familiar though, you know. One of the Middle Eastern style helmets with the pointy on the top. All right, let's go here, boys. You're in a fight. Pele's got them skin tight, like it looks like his trunks have been painted on.
I guess the wrong guy got the signal on that one.
What was happening? He kicked him, okay. It's pretty good left, right. A little push kick there. Oh, good low kick by Pele, but Karimula, ooh, he's going for one of his sambo throws. Ooh, he can't get it. Oh, he does get him down though. He did it, but it wasn't as impressive as his earlier little sambo slams.
Pele has got the half of the butterfly guard, and he's got it deeply sunk. Barkalov's got to think about getting that loose.
Yeah, good advice there, Quadros. I don't know, how good is Pele off his back? I am not, I don't recall seeing him fight much off his back. Daijiro Matsui, I think, was on top of him for a while, wasn't he? That would be Pele's next immediate fight, Pride 14. Clash of the Titans. Daijiro Matsui would eke out a decision. I think I recall Matsui being on top of him and looking pretty good for Matsui. You know, Matsui had a good base. You could have taken him and maybe thrown in some good kickboxing training and made him a better fighter than what he was. Because he had a good gas tank. He had a lot of heart. He needed a different training camp than, I believe he was with the Kata Dojo for almost the whole time he was fighting in Pride. Get the fuck out of there, you know? I mean, unless it's called Sakuraba's dojo, why are you there? But even then, I think Sakuraba had holes in his games, despite how good Sakuraba was. He was a great, sort of graceful grappler. But Karamula here, I'm not talking about this fight at all, am I? Oh, nice little pass there by Karamula, north-south position. Freaky mount. But Sakuraba definitely probably needed a little bit more aggressive. Ooh, nice knee right to the head. Another one. I mean, those are hitting, but that second one was kind of like, it's almost as if he held it, you know? He takes his back, almost gets the arm hooked. That would have been really bad. He's going for a choke here. Pele's in trouble. He's looking like a fish out of water. He tries to turn. He gets in a better position, but Karamula just gets on top of him and mount. Let's see what happens. Karamula bleeding. I think his nose or mouth is... Those are hard shots. Wow. This is pretty tough here. He tries to... He's got great ground and pound. This is what you do when you get on mount. I see a lot of guys get on mount. He's holding the cage, that cheating fuck. I see guys get on mount and then they don't really know what to do. Karamula's doing a good job here. He's sort of mixing it up, doing the looping punches, getting some short shots in there. Pele wants a turn. Oh, that one hurt. Yeah, he is definitely hurting Pele. That left or that right he delivered just a second ago. I think it might be Karamula, his nose. Yeah, see, he's grabbing his nose, trying to clear out his nose.
I wonder if he's going to punch himself out here.
No, I would say he's reserved himself enough here. I don't see him punching himself out, but Pele tries to turn him here. Not going to work. Great base by Karamula. He's got a good mount here. Ooh, and he's just slugging him now. This is not good for Pele. Pele is getting mauled here. Good inside little short punches. That's what you do. You kind of mix it up. Give some of them looping punches. And Pele's going to maybe try and give up his back, but wow, look how tight Karamula's mount is, and he can make it even tighter now because Pele's pressed up against the cage. He can get his knees and his thighs right under Pele's armpits and like just sort of squeeze, and Pele can't go anywhere with the cage. He's trapped here. McCarthy should stop this now. That I would stop it right here. Pele's and Karamula's grabbing the cage again, that cheating motherfucker. Wow, Pele stands here. Rear naked choke. He's got a body lock too. This is bad. Wow. Karamula's putting on a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu clinic on Pele. Wow. I mean, this guy, why didn't this guy just be a massive, I'm talking about Karamula here. Why didn't he go into the UFC or something at the time and just dominate? This guy, he's got some great skills. And I think he's got the perfect body to be a fighter. You know, he's, like I said, he doesn't have too much muscle to make it a detriment. He's got just the right body. Pele is dominated here. Wow. Back mounted, still has the triangle, the body triangle in, and he is hammering that. These shots do hurt. That's it. McCarthy's seen enough. Pele, wow. He was demolished there the last 2 minutes that Karamula was in dominant position. Wow is right, Quadros. Karamula, look at him. He has stopped Pele. So what would happen with Pele Landy here? Immediately after this, he would go into Pride 14, which was in May of 2001. He would fight Daijiro Matsui in his debut fight. He would lose that one in a decision. He took nearly a year off. Coming back at Pride 19, Bad Blood, in February of 2002. There, he'll be taking on Carlos Newton. We'll see you then, Pele. Good showing from Karamula. He had all sorts of dominant positions. See, those knees look good, but he was almost like he was holding him back. He wasn't throwing him in there and sticking him. He was throwing him in there and bringing his knee right back almost at the point immediately as soon as it hit, which wasn't a full force knee. We're just seeing the same replays here. Okay. They're bad. These replays suck. Who's queuing this shit up? This is a good one too. Holding the cage. McCarthy's not looking at that. He's looking at Pele, waiting to stop the fight. And instead of seeing that fucking Karamula cheating. Well, we're ready for our final here. It's going to see Dave Manet versus Karamula. He's such a good-looking guy. Karamula, also known as Kareem Barkalea. Quadros looks like a fucking geek. And Richard Norton over here. He looks like your grandpa with his glasses sort of hanging down. So, Richard Norton, I did do a little reading. He's, I guess, Alistair, our friend, he called him a national treasure of Australia. He is an actor, karate guy, etc., etc. Super fight. Get out of the way, mother. Fucker. So we have an extra fight here. I didn't know this was going to be on here, was it? Who's fucking fighting? What the fuck is going on? Is this a Shidokan special super fight? I missed it. I guess that's what Quattro said. This fight's not even listed on the Sherdog. Oh, nice little surprise. Musen Shayes Yish Shayish. He's a Shidokan master practitioner. Is this going to be a straight Shidokan fight? They're both going to come out in the Shidokan gis? What a treat. Ah, I am so happy. What a nice little treat this is.
24 years old, weighing in at 75 kilograms. He comes to us from Abu Dhabi.
Ooh, in Abu Dhabi.
Please welcome Steve Super Kick Porty.
Steve Super Kick Porty. Is he a native of Abu Dhabi? Okay, so looks like he's going to be I guess a Thai boxer? Kickboxer? Shaiish versus Porty. Quadros. This is like a throwback to the beginning of mixed martial arts. Yeah, this should be fun. Unless this is a work. You never know. You never know. So is that the Shidokan symbols there? Is that the typical black gi? Like he's in ISIS? I'm sorry. Oh my god, I cracked myself up. Oh boy. that was perfect. Well timed. Great joke. See, it's funny because he's Kuwaiti, he's Middle Eastern, ISIS. You get it. It was a bad joke. Pretty offensive. I'm not saying everybody from the Middle East is in an ISIS. I'm just, don't mind me if you took offense to that. Nobody should take offense to anything I say. I say it with love. As long as I learned this in sales. As long as you can almost say anything. You can almost say anything. Not everything, but you can almost say anything as long as you say it with a smile on your face. Oh, geez. This is some... What? Okay, punch him. Don't... Oh, my God. This is a fucking work. Come on. They're like, get this guy who's from, quote-unquote, Abu Dhabi. Did you see that punch he threw? He wasn't even aiming. He just threw it... Wow. I was joking when I said this fight might be a work before the fight started. I mean, I said unless this is a work.
It looks to me like Porty doesn't have a lot of ground.
Yeah, no. This is... That was bad. Porty, did you see that punch he threw? It's like he was in a movie throwing a punch at an actor. And here we go. This is the go home. This is the go home move. No, Porty fights it off. I guess it's not time yet. He's like, oh, I'm going to put you in a clinic. I'm going to do an Americana. I'm going to do a choke. I'm going to do an armbar. I'm going to finish with the armbar. I'm calling it right now. He's going to finish with an armbar unless the choke is the finish here.
Matter of time. There you go.
All right, tapped out. There you go. All right, you're a hero. Yeah, that's for the crowd. And there's their Sheik over there. I seen him. I seen or one of the Sheik's sons. He was in that pattern head drape. That was, I guarantee you, that was one of the Sheik's sons.
Hometown crowd very happy about that.
Yeah, the hometown crowd needs something to be happy about, seeing all these foreigners come in. And he beat in Abu Dhabi. I wonder if people in Kuwait, they like hate Abu Dhabi, you know, like that's their rivals. This fight was a fake fight, guaranteed. My fake fight detector is flawless. That was a fake fight. And here comes the Sheik. Oh, he's giving. There he is, Jaber Al Sabad. Wow. He's like, here you go for showing how great Shidokan Jitsu is. We're gonna give you $30,000. This was a super fight. Who was the guy? And he gets a belt too? Are you are fucking kidding me? See, this is why I don't mind that that the Syrian promoter charged them $1.5 million for this. Because look at how this guy just spends money. He gives $30,000 away to a winner of a fake fight and gives him a freaking belt. Now, granted, that belt looks like it's just sheet metal painted gold and it's been made in shop clash. What is going on? Who are these guys? Which one is the Syrian promoter? Wow, that was a travesty. He wins a fake fight. He gets $30,000 and a belt. Moving on. That was still a treat, but
Weighing in at 90 kilograms, with an NHB record of 12-0 from Dagestan.
from Dagestan,
For the finals,
Karamula Barkalev. Barkalev, I still say.
Coming off two very strong wins in this tournament. He is the WEF
Let's go. I am looking forward to this final here. This should be a good fight. I'm hoping it's a good fight.
He now has a no-holds-barred record
I could be wrong.
of 36-3. 26 years old, weighing in at 89 kilograms, coming to us from the United States from Forest Lake, Minnesota.
Forest Lakes, Minnesota.
Dave
Money! Full contact fighter, because he's got to let people know in the airport that he's a badass, or when he goes to the mall and he's at the restaurant. I was gonna think of a funny restaurant name. When he's at Baskin Robbins, he needs to let everybody know I'm a badass. At the Dairy Queen. Culver's, when he's walking up ordering his food, get him his food quick because he's a full contact fighter.
He's stand-up skills. He's a very cool fighter. He's very
Big John.
relaxed. He has good tactics. This guy's very, very impressive.
You know, under the circumstances being the finals, both men actually look pretty fresh. There's Barkalev.
Yeah, they do. I agree. They look pretty fresh.
This is the finals of the Kuwait
Here we go.
Jiu-Jitsu Warriors
Let's see
Worldwide.
some work, boys. I want to see some bombs. I want to see some blood. I want to see you guys fight for it. They promised, what was it, $60,000, $75,000, whatever you were promised. I want to see a fight for it. Swinging kick.
Round leg kick from Manet.
Swinging round kick there. Ooh, there's that spinning back kick by Karamula. He's pretty crisp with that. I'm not sure on his targeting. Some kicks from Manet. He shoots in there off of a kick by Karamula. He's going to take him down. Ooh, he picks him up momentarily and drags him down. Let's see Barkalev from the bottom. Let's see how he does. Excuse me. Let's see what he's got off his back. This is interesting because it'll tell us how complete of a how complete of a fighter Karamula is. His back game hasn't looked too bad.
He didn't need to. He didn't need
He's
to use it. That was the bottom
worked
line.
some punches here. Now he's
Look at
working
this.
for a Kimura, maybe? No.
Very skilled.
I don't know.
Very
Maybe he
skilled.
was. He's trapped up against the cage here. He doesn't want to be here. He wants to try and turn himself, get out of there, which he's looking to do. But he's going for a Kimura. Now he's looking to use that to stand up, but he's better secure something here. Oh, wow. Did you see that? Bad camera work. But that was a great kind of spin out wheel maneuver. I don't know what it was, but that, oh, too bad we didn't get a good camera angle on that. That was like a, almost like a going for an arm bar sort of thing, but he just rolled him. Now he's on top. He's in north-south position. Freaky mount. He's going for knees here, this position, aka the Mark Coleman, Igor Volchanchin position, where Mark Coleman just rained down hell. And that's what Karamula should be doing too. He doesn't really have, I guess he's got good control of Manet here. Manet's just laying here, not, oh, he throws a knee. He should be doing that more and using that to distract Karamula while he tries to roll out of it, get to his knees. Karamula is not making him pay in this position. He should be making him hurt. He goes to side control. He's trying to go for mount. He gets it. Manet can't break out of it. Barkalaev is going to make sure that Manet can't get his feet on the mat. Manet's holding on tight here. Barkalaev's trying to break him. He's pounding him. He should be pounding them ears for sure. Just work one side. He goes to cover up that side. You work the other side. Just hurt his ears. And you tell the guy, I'm going to give you so bad cauliflower. You whisper to him as you're beating his ears. Say, you're going to be the ugliest motherfucker walking down the street. And he will instinctively want to cover up his ears. So you don't make him a horrible goblin-looking motherfucker. Whoa, did you see that? That was a great move by Manet. Wow, I don't think I have ever seen that used in a pro fight. That was a great sort of explosion out of mount. Oh, and Manet is raining down some hell here. Barkalaev, wow, is surprised. Was surprised here. He might be going for his judo throw. He's trying to trip up the feet here. Oh, knee right in the dick. But the ref, Manet, doesn't care. Yeah, wow, that was a great exploder out, sort of, to get out from out. That was a great job. Barkalaev had stopped being concerned with Manet planting his feet on the ground, but I guess he should have been more concerned with that, because look what happened. Oh, he just sort of slugs Manet there, backs away. He looks pissed. He's got his hands down. What happened? His mouthpiece come out? What? Oh my god, this fucking tape. Are you kidding me? Bad camera angle. He's waiting. What was that? Was that the replay? Why did they show that?
He wants to go to the kick here, maybe to the leg.
Manet's looking a little exhausted. Barkalaev, I think, looks a lot more fresher. They exchanged some kicks. Barkalaev's kick was a straight one. Manet's was more to the leg. Inside leg kick, roundhouse kick to the body by Manet. Let's go, boys. Let's see some bombs here. Oh, look at Manet's leg. It's got some bruising there. Sort of defensive push kick by Barkalaev, but Manet pays no mind to it and moves in, grapples him. He's going to grind him here. But he's got to be careful of Barkalaev. He's a wily fellow with them throws, and I'm sure Barkalaev has a throw for this position. But nope, Manet just powers him down. Now he's got to, again, we saw what happened before, so I'm sure Manet might be worried about Barkalaev getting out here. He goes for some crazy up kicks.
Both fighters exchanging blows here. This is a war.
This is a war. This is a good fight. Yeah, I agree. This is Warriors War. Some upside down heel kicks. I wonder if he learned that from a Gracie.
Because Dave Monet has not folded at all, and he was being roughed up considerably in the early part of this round, but now he's back on top, landed a few good
leverage in his position here.
Monet here just grinding on top. As I was sort of mystified by the action, I went silent. Nothing to say.
Because you can't flatten out. Because if you curled up like that, you can create.
Monet, I want to call this laying and praying. Monet is working here, but his shots to the bodies are just sort of distracting. They're not going to do much. Barkalev, he's looking gassed now too. He's looking pretty tired. Oh, Monet goes to stand. Barkalev helps him stand by pushing him back. Now he's on his back. Monet's trying to punish the legs. Barkalev does not look comfortable in his position. He might be trying. Ooh, wow, look at that. That was like a capoeira kick. That was good. That was a good kick. That made Monet think twice. But Monet grabs him here. He's grinding on him again. I would give the advantage in this position to Monet. I think he's more suited, more used to this. I don't know how much time Barkalev spent grinding against a cage or ropes like this. Kind of like Shamir. And I'm sure Dave Monet might have seen how this position worked against Shamir, and so he's using it against his compatriot. Barkalev. Overall, I don't want to get too ahead of myself here and rank this tournament, but it hasn't been too bad. I mean, it's a low, it's like, I wouldn't say an amateurs like tournament. I mean, it's got some big names and it definitely had some notable guys in there. The production quality sucks because they obviously didn't spend any money on the cameras or the lighting or anything like that. They were out to fleece the Sheik for as much money as they could, so they went cheap on everything else. They cut corners just so they could get as much money into their pockets while charging the most money. I'm sure the Sheik probably doesn't pay any attention. You know, he just, oh, that was a good knee by Barkalev. You know, some Syrian promoter says, we're going to put on this big event. It's going to cost you $1.5 million, but it's going to be the biggest event in the world. And I'm sure the Sheik has never even seen a copy of this. He's dead now, so he's never going to see it. But I'm sure before he died, that's some good work here. Monet, rain in hell. And he goes back to grinding. That is so frustrating. He breaks away. Oh, but Karamula here does the same move that Shamir was trying to do, and it was easier for Shamir or for Barkalev to do there. Wow. But anyway, I'm sure the Sheik never saw this. He never knew how shitty it was. I'm sure he doesn't understand the value of money. I'm sure when someone tells him it's going to cost $1.5 million to put on an MMA event, he probably said, okay, I guess that sounds reasonable. Meanwhile, it cost, after the prize money, they probably spent 20 grand on everything else.
Very dangerous for Monet, just because again at this stage he's tired and to have this advantage position.
So Barkalev here is in mount. He's definitely looking like he's gonna skate to the end here. If this doesn't get a finish, oh, is that it? Wow. I was thinking there was going to be like 4 more minutes of the fight. Monet wants to get him off. Barkalev will not get off him. That's a little disrespectful. Barkalev, he's kind of a snot, and he just blew snot out of his nose. That's fitting, because he's kind of a dick. So this is going to be pretty... this is a good flurry. He was rocking him there. That was a good shot. He goes in to grind. But I don't know, Barkalev, he had that great reversal right there. Yeah, it was almost like he was rolling for an arm bar. And that was a great escape by Manet there. They both had good escapes. I would say Karamula had some dominant positions. He was in north-south side control. He got the mount. He got the mount twice.
You know, he reminds me of a throwback to Don.
I would almost say that this needs another 5-minute overtime. I do not see a clear winner here. I do not.
It is anything but a unanimous decision.
Let's see. Let's go.
They will go to overtime.
There's 60 grand on the line.
Unanimous decision to win. If one of the judges dissents, it goes to the overtime round.
Oh, so it needs to be a unanimous decision across the board.
The judges have reached a unanimous decision.
Wow.
With one foul counted to Mr. Barkalev, the judges have found the winner of the Warriors War.
One foul to Barkalev? He had a foul?
Gabe!
Oh, Barkalev. He looks defeated here. Oh, and he doesn't get a handshake from Menez. Menez gets hoisted up on the shoulders of his fellows.
I kind of saw Barkalev winning the fight, but
oh, Quadros called it for Barkalev. There's Matt Hughes. Matt Hughes' twin brother. And Pat Miletich, the Hughes brothers. I wonder why Matt Hughes' twin brother never became a fighter. They could have did the old switcheroo, you know, in the middle of an MMA fight. And here comes the Sheik, Jaber Al-Sabad. I guess, okay, so I guess I wasn't familiar with native Kuwaitis. And when the other guy, I said he looked like he was from Detroit, the Shidokan guy, in the beginning, I didn't realize Kuwaitis looked like that. Oh, Dave Manet gets a belt too. Look at that sheet metal. Looks like they made it just before the event here. It's got that sort of Ottoman Empire. That's what I was looking for. It's like an Ottoman Empire helmet. Oh, I thought the video was going to end there. So I didn't realize native Kuwaitis were, I guess, look like they're from Detroit. And there was Bruce Buffer, and I don't know who that other guy is here. And there's the Sheik and his sons and some other guys. And there you go. Jaber Al-Sabad, he is the executive producer. He paid for the whole fucking thing. Ricardo Miranda, Richard Kim, war introduction. Okay, he needs a fucking credit for that, I guess. This is who they wish to thank. He must be thanking his sons. Rakan Al-Shabad. Anyway, alright, that's the end of this. I did want to note here before we finish this out, what would happen with Karamula? He would disappear off the face of the earth, literally. Well, maybe not literally. After this, only a few days later, he would go to Abu Dhabi to participate in the Abu Dhabi Combat Club World Grappling Submissions of 2001. There, he would fight Ricardo Arona in a grappling match. And in this match, Barkalev would aggressively grab the neck of Ricardo Arona, causing Ricardo Arona to punch him in the face. The Sheik of Abu Dhabi, though, took offense to Barkalev's aggressive actions, causing Ricardo Arona to punch him. He had Barkalev arrested, handcuffed, blindfolded, and taken away to a secret prison. Barkalev was held there for about 3 days before finally being released. He quickly left the country and vowed never to return. After that, Barkalev was never heard from again. I don't know what happened to him. I'm sure he had the scare of his life, though, being in that prison, because who knows what they threatened him with. Maybe he felt that he got away with his life. He could have. But definitely an interesting story, and you can find it on YouTube, Ricardo Arona versus Barkalev. I guess Barkalev, immediately after Shidokan Jitsu here, jumped on a plane, head over to Abu Dhabi to get into the World Grappling Submissions, and whoopsie, he offended the Sheik of Abu Dhabi. I'm really surprised. Barkalev could have been, I think, a powerhouse. The guy had the skills. Maybe he had, like I said, the scare of his life, and he decided to get out of the fighting game. Dave Manet, he would go into the UFC, have a string of successes, yada yada yada. Who cares? This was a okay event. I was surprised. It had some good fights, even though they went to the decision. That last fight there was a really good fight. And I thought overall it was a pretty good event. I give this a very solid 7.75 out of 10. It was a good card. I liked it. Definitely worth the watch. I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad I found it, and I'm glad I found it in its entirety. Anyway, there was more to this story about Barkalev and the Russians and the American fighters after Dave Manet's sort of surprising victory here. You can read all about it in the link that I have in the description to the Sherdog Stories from the Road, in which the Americans thought that they were going to be jumped by the Russians in the hotel after the fight. So much so that they had to call up the Sheik and ask permission to be moved to a different hotel. Whole little story around that. The Americans there was some special forces, Navy SEALs, I guess, in attendance at this event watching it. And they sort of stuck up, and there was some sort of thing that happened after the decision. I guess the Russians jumped into the ring and there was a confrontation. The Navy SEALs got into the ring to protect the Americans. There's a whole little dust up that Pat Miletich tells about. You should go read it. And then I guess there was problems with Dave Manet getting his money, getting his $60,000, because that giant check they gave him, well, you can't just take that to a bank and cash it. It's not worth the paper. It's not worth the money, the paper it's printed on. That's what I was trying to say. It's not worth the paper it's printed on. So anyway, they tried to had to track down a Syrian promoter to get the money. There was a book that included some of these stories too. Somebody mentioned it in the comments in the Sherdog article. Anyway, go check that out if you're interested in learning more about this whole sordid event and the shit that happened after it. It's definitely worth a read. Go check it out. For now, though, I must say goodbye. I must wish you adieu. Goodbye, good luck. I'm the most dangerous man alive today. Don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I'm the most dangerous man alive today. Wishing you goodbye, good luck. And we'll sniff you fucking jerks later.